Welcome in. We are back. Week one of the NFL starts tomorrow. Technically started Thursday, but we're ready to rock and roll. Main slate talk tonight. A lot of FanDuel talk. Gonna get you ready. Get in the chat. Hit the like button. Ask your questions, season long or daily. I'll answer them all right after this.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Welcome into the Rumbles of Red. The 2022 season is in full tilt tomorrow. 13 games on the main slate. It's going to be a pretty big main slate. One of the largest ones we'll see all season, as there's just 3 regular island games: the Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night games. Sometimes I'll do double headers on Monday nights for the first weekend, double headers on Thursday nights, but it's only one game each one of those. So we had 13 on the main slate. Before we get started, smash that like button, share the stream with all your friends. Jump in the comments here, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's go back and forth a little bit. I want to hear from you. I want to interact with you as well. And tonight we started with 42 subscribers. I'm looking to get over 50. Let's push that over 50 tonight. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit the bell. I'm going to be live every Friday night at 8:15 Central Time this season, bringing you as much daily fantasy information as I can bring you. Look, the schedule got thrown off this week. I had a birthday party for one of my kids' friends. Had to go that last night. So now we're here tonight. Grab a beer. Let's have some fun. Going to be going through reviewing last night's game. Are you sad? Yes. Thank you. The comment is, are you sad that you have a signed Tyreek Hill jersey? RIP to the jersey, but it's still pretty nice, so I didn't want to get rid of it. Shout out to my wife, actually, for the entire setup here. This year, it was not this nice last year, so I'm happy to be in here. New setup here. We're going to review last night's game. Won a little bit of money, not too much. Didn't get too crazy. We're going to talk about contest selection. Got the red 6-pack. You guys know I have to do that every time. It's going to be our top studs of the week this week. Some value plays that we have on FanDuel, some stacking options that we have, and then let's build some lineups together. All right, I want to get involved. I want you all to be involved. I'll build lineups around the quarterbacks, the stacks that you want to see. We'll get together and we'll build some lineups together. Let's jump in first. Let's review last night's game. Let me pull up. I did okay. I came out on top. Did not have a big win by any means, but not a bad win either. So every Thursday night I play in a 100-man 3 max entry. It's $5 per entry. It's $15. I don't play a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. It's a lot of volume. But you guys can play whatever you want. It's your bag, right? It's your budget. So play whatever you want. This is a contest that I have found works really well for me in single games. And so on FanDuel, it's a 100 person game, three people max. I play this in a very strategic way. All three of my lineups. Sorry, getting already. Here's my wife already in here. It was not nice. It was a very quick remodel. I do appreciate it very much. So anyways, all 3 of my lineups here, one of them hit. I win a little bit of money. The other 2 do not. But I want to talk about why I built them the way that I built them. We see the top score here. Really nice lineup from this guy. He's got Josh Allen in the MVP spot. My first one in 100 out of 100, and I'm very happy with that. I either want, if I'm building something that comes here, that means it was a very weird and it was a non-duplicated lineup. Nobody else had a lineup like this. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, obviously, but that's okay. Allen Robinson, I was thinking, let's get ahead of the game this year. If he's going to come out and have the volume that OBJ and Robert Woods had at this time last year in this number 2 role, Let's jump all over it. Let's get it early. 4% MVP. 4%. I love that. That was a huge get. Unfortunately, Allen Robinson caught one ball for 12 yards, so it's not going to actually get anything done for us. That's all right. A weird build, but a unique build, and that's what I was trying to get to. Really just thinking around the Rams win the game here, and maybe it's a Devin Singletary, Cam Akers are the ones falling into the end zone, and I'm full fading Cooper Kupp with this lineup because I knew Cooper Kupp was going to be pretty heavily rostered in this contest, rightfully so. He showed out again. Unfortunately, this one didn't work out for me. The other lineup I did that didn't work out was a Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford again. The Rams side of the ball really they didn't do very well for you. And if you really went heavy Rams, you weren't winning any money last night or on Thursday night. Cooper Kupp and the captain looked phenomenal. Again, just 11%. You can live with 11%. You can live with 11% for sure. You'll see any of my single games, I really try to avoid the quarterback in the MVP spot. And I'm going to show you that reason here pretty quick like, but let me show you the winning lineup first. The lineup that got 8th place, but won some money for me. I went Steph Diggs here. He goes off 8 for 122 and a touchdown, 3% MVP. That's what I wanted. I get Steph Diggs at 3% MVP. Now I've got a chance and I've got leverage on the rest of the field. Only 2 other people have Steph Diggs in MVP spot. That's probably why I'm in 8th place. It's definitely why I'm not in first though, because Josh Allen here, 64% MVP. And that's pretty standard with these single game slates. These quarterbacks are very, very popular. And when I go to build these lineups, I'm trying to avoid that popularity. I don't want to be duplicated. And I always want to have some leverage on the field. And this is where I try to get my leverage. And that's why I'm putting in a pass catcher in the MVP spot. Looking at the other guys' lineup, this is the first year that Fanduel included defenses. And that's what he did. He took the defense at 5%. Just 5%. Defense goes off for 17 points. Even if I would have had the defense, I don't know that I'm getting to him. But if I did have this Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, the way he has it, that's 72 points, where the way I had it was only 66 points. So I do get 6 points there if I flip-flop those 2 guys. But again, I'll take my $5 win and I'll move on to tomorrow. Contest selection. If you're in here, if you're playing FanDuel for the first time, I really, really recommend staying away from any type of multi-entry, big MME, maxing out, the milli makers, 150 lineups, those kind of things. I shoot for the single entries. And as you saw there, we're here to learn for the ones who are going to play $20 tomorrow, the ones who are playing $50 tomorrow. We're not going to be pros at this. We're not going to go spend thousands of dollars, and we're not going to win thousands or millions of dollars, right? We're going to play it week by week and enjoy the game. But I shoot for the single entry or the 3 max. I always try to play lower entry tournaments, less than 500 contestants. I feel like that gives us an actual shot of winning something. You get into 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 entries, your odds of winning start to diminish pretty quickly. And so give me an opportunity to win. So I'm trying to play with contests under 500 and anything with 18 to 20% payouts. There's a lot of contests out there that, they're paying out 12%, 15%, which the contests I play on single entry slates only play out 12%. But when I get into these main slates, I'm looking for something that pays out top 18 to 20. For example, this is a $50 entry, 112 entries. So it's a single entry, as you see right up here. And if I go in here, it pays out the top 23 entries. That's right at 18%. I like that. I can play with that. I feel like I have a really good chance of being a top 18%. So if you're setting lineups, if you're new to FanDuel, if you're trying to find what to play, it doesn't have to be a $50 one. It could be a $5 one. It can be a $10 one. I can show you a $5 one here. This is a 470 entry one. Prizes up to the top 85. I believe that's at 19% as well. And you can win some money. And you still get a nice little, bink at the top at 250 if you do make it up there. So look around. Make sure you're checking out the contest because you don't want to just jump in tomorrow morning and start randomly getting onto them. That's what I used to do. I'm very diligent now about what contests I'm selecting. And then it's all tournaments for me. I played a lot of cash games last year. This year, I'm just cutting that out. Into the text threads I've been in, I just tell them I'm cutting it out. I'll talk to you about cash games. I'll answer questions about cash games. But for me, I'm cutting those out. I'm not playing them. It's a lot. It's a lot to make money on. It's a lot to put in every single week. And if you miss one, your entire week can be gone in a hurry, and you don't really have a chance to catch up or to replace any of that money just by playing other cash games. If you're in the chat tonight, who's your top stud tomorrow? Who's a guy? It's going to cost you a lot of money, but you're jamming him in there. Put it in the comments here. Who are you jamming in tomorrow? You don't care about the price. You just want to play him because you know he's going to smash. He's going to be a heck of a play. Who is that for you? And I'm going to get into who those couple players are for me. Jumping into the red 6-pack, I'm going to highlight 6 different studs of the week that I like. Again, these are guys we're paying up for here. These are going to be your guys at the top of every salary. When you're in quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, whoever it is, we're going to do that. Got a question here before I jump in here. Are you more successful fading those big time stars or more successful going with them? I think a lot of that has to do with rostership percentage, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. If everybody's playing them and you play them as well, where are you getting? How are you beating the field? If everybody plays, Josh Allen's not on the slate, so I'll use him. If everybody were to play Josh Allen, how do you beat every other team? Because you also have him too, right? So I think that's where it's more than just, hey, this guy's a stud. We know they're studs. That's why they're priced up there, right? That's why they're at the top of the list in their respective positions, because we know they're studs, because we know they're good. So it really has to do with whether or not everybody else is playing them. Are they in a good spot? And if everybody else is playing them, I'm going to try to not necessarily avoid them, but understand I'm going to have to get different elsewhere instead of full fading them. I got a Jalen Hurts. Who else is out there you guys think of studs? I'm going to get into my first stud right here, and that's Jonathan Taylor. At $10,200, he's the most expensive player on the slate, but he's also projecting to be the top scoring player. Last year, Houston gave up 142 rushing yards per game, 142. And nobody else in Indianapolis is going to be necessarily taking touches away from Jonathan Taylor. The Colts, the heaviest favorite on the slate. I think it's 7.5 that they're favored tomorrow. I'll double check my math here. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, yeah, they're 7.5 tomorrow. The rostership percentage should be relatively low for Jonathan Taylor because he's so expensive. It is going to be difficult to get him in the lineup and feel really good about your lineup. But if you can find a way to afford him, I think JT is going to be a great tournament play tomorrow. My number 2 here, as Lee says in the chat, Jalen Hurts. He's my number 2 as well. 8,000 on FanDuel against the Detroit Lions. He's the 5th highest priced quarterback this week. So you're still paying up for him, but you're saving against other guys like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. And I want a piece of this game. It's not a game over 50 points. The total isn't over 50. It's sitting at, Vegas has it, 48.5? If I can find it. 48.5 here. And so it's not necessarily that automatic, it's over 50, I'm going to go after it. But it's still the third highest total on the slate. There's not a lot of high totals this week. And so it's still going to be popular play, but not as popular as the two games ahead of it that are over 50 points, being the Chiefs, Cardinals, Chargers, Raiders. And so I like Jalen Hurts. You can stack Jalen Hurts or you can just run him naked. I personally in cash would be running Jalen Hurts naked, not even stacking him, just hoping that he runs it in for a score, maybe a touchdown pass as well, but uses his legs for that. So if I'm playing a cash game, I think Jalen Hurts is your chalk cash play this week, but he's still usable in tournaments. And therein lies the thing that Trent had asked earlier. Can I be successful fading these guys or should I play them? If you're going to play Jalen Hurts, you have to get different somewhere else because he's going to be popular this week. In fact, I see him as the top rostered quarterback according to Established Runs projections. They've got him as the top rostered quarterback. So you know that he's going to be everybody else in your tournament is going to have him as well. So just make sure you're getting different. Number 3 is Patrick Mahomes. Of course, got to go with my love. We see everything here. If you don't know me, Trevor, your host, man, we're all Chiefs fans around here. But that's not why I picked Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. He's $8,700, the most expensive quarterback on the slate, but he's playing in the game that has the highest total in the slate in a dome in Arizona. And with this price point, his rostership should be lower. Right now, it looks like he is 10 to 12%. He's really right around the same as Lamar Jackson, who's a little bit cheaper. But in these single entry, smaller tournaments, I think that rostership gets even compressed even more. And as a side note, when I say rostership, if you got 100 people in your contest, I'm talking about how many other entries, how many other lineups have the same guy, right? So if there's 100 and his rostership's at 12%, 12 of you have him in your lineup. So that's what we're talking about there. Look, Patrick Mahomes has a lot of cheap stacking options here. Team total for the Chiefs is 29.5 per Vegas. And then we can throw in Andy Reid on week 1. He's absolutely dominated week 1 for many years. 4 to 5 team touchdowns. That's not out of the realm of possibility tomorrow. Mahomes ought to be throwing it. He's probably, I expect him to be spreading the ball out all over. Again, you're paying way up. He's the most expensive quarterback, but he has the highest ceiling tomorrow. Highest team total, highest game total, multiple cheap stacking options. He's not my favorite quarterback play in total when price considered, but when I take price and rostership into consideration, he ends up being my favorite over Jalen Hurts at that point in time. Number 4 here out of 6 is Deebo Samuel, 8,400 versus the Bears. This game, it really looks like it's going to be coming way low rostered, and really for good reason, right? You got a lot of questions around both these quarterbacks. What's Trey Lance going to do in his first game? Justin Fields, is he going to take that next step? There's just a lot of question marks, and Vegas agrees with that, so they've got low totals in the game, right? However, in the title of this podcast, I say embrace the wild, and that's what we're going to be doing all week long. We're embracing the wild. It's week 1. We cannot really project these guys very well because you don't know what the usage is going to look like. Is he going to be the Deebo Samuel that he was last year at the end of the year, or is he going to go back to just catching passes? George Kittle is probably going to be out tomorrow. Even if he plays, he can't be 100%. To me, Deebo Samuel is a great leverage off of guys around him. Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. These are the guys everybody's going to play tomorrow. These are the studs everybody's going after. And they're going to be great plays. Justin Jefferson's been touted as probably the best play across over the whole week. Everybody's talking about Justin Jefferson. Debo is in the same price range right here. So get some leverage on all of those guys and take Debo, who is maybe going to come in 5%, 6%, 7%. I mean, less than 10% for sure, I believe, tomorrow. Embrace the wild, baby. Embrace it. Number 5 is Justin Jefferson, just as I mentioned, $8,100 versus Green Bay. We're talking about the studs here, and this guy is the most stud of them all. He could be easily, I don't think he can beat Cooper Kupp's Triple Crown record he had last year, but he can be that guy, not only for this year, but multiple years to come. The dude's a stud. There's not a lot more you have to say about him. He's the stud of all studs. He does have the highest median projection of all the wide receivers this week. He has the highest ceiling projection, and he's not the highest priced. Devontae Adams is the highest priced. I can show you here. Let's pull it up. You can see the wide receivers. Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Jamar Chase. They're all above Justin Jefferson here. So you're saving a little bit of salary and you're getting the stud, right? And that's what we're looking for this week. I do think he'll be a little bit chalky. So again, if you're going to go Jefferson, you're going to have to get weird elsewhere. But I don't mind Jefferson, Thielen, Kirk Cousins stack, a double stack Kirk Cousins. Maybe you bring A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones back from the Packers. I think that's going to get you weird enough and still get all that scoring from Justin Jefferson. And of course, number 6, we're at the end of the 6-pack. Hopefully you're all enjoying a nice beverage on this Saturday night. It's like kind of a little happy hour. Maybe I need to move it up a little earlier, have a little happy hour. I agree with you, Trent, here. Debo Samuel, absolutely mentioned him, $8,400 against the Bears. I did not mention Justin Jefferson in this 6-pack. Sorry, Justin Herbert. But he will have plenty of opportunity tomorrow, and I will talk about him here in a little bit as well when I talk about stacks. My number 6 is Darren Waller. I want to get a tight end in here. Darren Waller, $7,000 against the LA Chargers. I love Travis Kelce and I love Mark Andrews. They both have great matchups this week, but Darren Waller's $1,000 cheaper than Travis Kelce and $900 cheaper than Mark Andrews. I'll take the discount, and you get a healthy Darren Waller. The contract dispute is handled. Waller's going to be the first or second target out there for the Raiders. He's got a very good, one of the best wide receivers in the game with him now, and Devontae Adams. It should open up a little bit more across the middle for him. And then I think this Raider team is going to be chasing the Chargers all day long. So I like him. He's my top tight end stud of the week. And the reason he is the top stud over a guy like Kyle Pitts is because Kyle Pitts that's where everybody is going this week, right? And to be the stud, you can't only be the best one, but it's got to make sense for your lineup. So I don't want to go to the Kyle Pitts every single time. I'm sure I'll sprinkle in a little Kyle Pitts this week, but not every time. His median projection is really not far off of Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce, and Mark Andrews. And so give me a little bit of Darren Waller in that afternoon 3:35 game against the LA Chargers. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Jump in the comments. Everything helps. Likes, shares, comments. It all helps get the word out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the Rumbles of Red. We're looking to try to get to 50 subscriptions by the end of today's stream. That's not 50 more. That's just really getting 8 more than what we started with. We started this tonight with 42. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And let's talk values, right? We're going to pay up for those studs that we just talked about. We got to have a little bit of value this week. And so I'm going to give you a value play for every position. And then we're going to jump into some stacking options after that. So who's your favorite value of the week? These are the cheap guys. These are the guys that you're going to put them in. You're going to expect, a 5K running back. You're looking to get 12 carries, 80 yards. And if he falls in the end zone, that's even better. But if not, you're ready to go. Okay. Who do you have for values? Let's see them in the chat here. They're starting to flow in. Kenyon Drake. I don't hate it. I don't even know what his price is. Let me look at his price. What's Drake's price here? I know he's going to be cheap. $5,700. Yeah, I could buy into that. They're playing what are they playing? The Lions today or tomorrow? So not the Lions, the Jets. That's right. Playing the Jets. I can buy into that. I don't know what's going to happen here with Mike Davis. I assume he's going to get some run as well, but it's really just going to be the two of them. So I kind of like that call quite a bit. Not a guy that's been on my radar, but maybe it's a guy I need to start taking a look at here as we move forward. Robert Tonyan. Yeah, I like that Minnesota Green Bay game. I talked about that one a little bit earlier. If you're going to stack up, say you're going Aaron Rodgers and you want to go Aaron Rodgers and Tonyan because Alan Lazard's out, and you're just like, well, this guy, he's going to be the one getting the touchdowns here. I would even throw in a running back there. Aaron Rodgers, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Robert Tonyan. I like to play the cheap tight ends with the quarterback if possible. If you're going to go that cheap at tight end, at least. Melvin Gordon, I'm not going to get on that train. I can't do it. I'm too invested in Javonte Williams. I'm too invested. Plus, he's not on the main slate, but yeah, I'm just too invested in Javonte Williams to call Melvin Gordon a value. I don't think he's going to get more than 25% of the snaps tomorrow. What do they play Monday night? 60-40. See, that's where I can't get to. I can't get to that, but I can get to these values that I have here. Starting at quarterback, Jameis Winston, $6,700. With this price point, I mean, what you need to dump off to Alvin Kamara and have him take it to the house, maybe once, maybe twice. A lot of talk around Jameis's 5-touchdown performance in week 1 of last year, and that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter for this year, but Jameis is playing against Atlanta, so they kind of suck. That defense is terrible. So why not? I like his stacks. This is a guy that would play Jameis, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. I'm probably going to stay away from Michael Thomas. I thought about him early in the week, but it doesn't seem like although he might play, it still doesn't feel like he's 100% healthy. But I would throw in Olave there. Staying away from their tight ends, that's for sure. And then also, you could almost even play like a dart throw there in New Orleans, especially if you don't think Michael Thomas is going to be healthy. So Jameis Winston at 6,700, I like a lot. Running back, I'm going Kenneth Gainwell, $5,300 tomorrow against the Lions. At running back, Damian Pierce, he's the hype. He's the hot commodity. He's on the love train. Everybody wants him. The value is great. He's going to be the cash, value of the week, but I think he's too chalky here for me in tournaments. So I'm going to be pretty well. I probably won't play him at all tomorrow. Not that I'm playing a lot of, maybe five lineups tomorrow, but I'll probably have 0% Pierce, but I'll definitely sprinkle in a little Kenneth Gainwell. Lions gave up 19 rushing touchdowns last season, which they only play 17 games, folks. So that's more than 1 per game. And this backfield's very fluid, and we are going to embrace the weird. Can you tell me who's going to be the best one? Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott. The Lions defense is not good. Their rush defense was a defense we picked on over and over and over last year. And I think we're going to do that again this year. And I can't tell you which one of these guys are going to show up tomorrow. I don't know who's going to be the best play. So I'm going to take the value in $5,300. I'm going to sprinkle him in here and there. I'm not going to slam him. I'm not going to put him in every lineup. He's going to get the opportunities, though, and I think it's a sneaky good game here. I don't see, a 0% chance that it's not a shootout style. I think Jared Goff is a fine quarterback. And while I don't know that they'll keep up with the Eagles, I do think they'll push them a little bit, at least enough for the Eagles to keep their foot on the gas. And if Gainwell can catch a few out of the backfield and maybe break off one or two here, I think that's going to pay off tremendously. And again, we got to look at some rostership here. When I look up Kenneth Gainwell, I'm not seeing anything in terms of, right now they've got him less than 2%. If you can get a guy at $5,300 at less than 2%, I'll take that, especially in a small field tournament. I can heavily stack elsewhere, put him in there, and save some salary. At wide receiver, it's a gross one. It's a gross one. Matt in the chat early said Robert Tonyan. I'm going Sammy Watkins, $5,500 against Minnesota. It's week 1. Who shows up in week 1 every year? Sammy Watkins. Plus Alan Lazard's going to be out. So why not? Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are going to be pass catcher 1 and 2, and also everything else for this team. But really, somebody from the wide receiver core needs to be catching passes. And again, I like this Minnesota Green Bay game. Watkins is not going to have a lot of people on him. So maybe if I want to just go a Jefferson Watkins skinny stack, I'm okay with that. Maybe you want to go the Kirk Cousins double I talked about earlier, bring it back with Watkins instead of a popular Aaron Jones. Heck yeah, go for it. We're just going to embrace the wild this week. At tight end, I'm going Kyle Pitts, $6,000 against the Saints. He's $2,000 cheaper than Travis Kelce and $1,900 less than Mark Andrews. But with this value comes a hefty rostership price. It really does. He's going to be the most popular tight end on the slate. Atlanta doesn't have a lot of other options still. It's going to take rookie wide receivers such as Drake London a couple games to get into the action. But he's got significant upside. He really has significant upside. He's a wide receiver playing tight end. I like an Alvin Kamara, Kyle Pitts stack here. It's probably going to be popular, but it's an early game. It's a good way to get like high ownership early, see how it goes. It's going to be chalky. If it goes well, now you can late swap into maybe something a little different, or you can ride out the chief stack that you might be playing with it, something like that. But it'll give you a little bit of time to late swap. I do like the Alvin Kamara, Kyle Pitts mini stack. I'll try to play with that a little bit this week. Trent says here, A.J. Brown. The only reason I'm not going to go a value with A.J. Brown is because he's not really that much cheaper. I mean, he's a value compared to Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel. But when I'm looking at values for wide receivers, I'm really trying to get into these 6,200 and less, especially on FanDuel, because a lot of these guys, everybody would be called a value, right? T. Higgins at $7K, Hollywood Brown's at 6,900, Jalen Waddle is supposed to be healthy again, Mike Williams at 6,600. So that's why there's a lot of guys just already under A.J. Brown, which is why I wouldn't call him a value. But I do like A.J. Brown. He's the guy that you can just stack up with Hurts that we talked about earlier, and maybe bring back Swift or something in that Detroit game and run with him. Cole Kmet will be a popular punt tight end this week. He's definitely going to be one of the more popular ones there. We'll see. I'm always worried about Justin Fields still. Really, I'm worried about that game. I heard today it's supposed to get kind of sloppy, a lot of rain. I don't know how that's going to affect these two young quarterbacks. I'll probably try to stay away from this game for the most part, but not a 0%. It's not everything here. I would not be playing Kadarius Toney. He is in the doghouse with this new regime. It does not sound like things are going well for him there in New York. At least that's what the reports I've been reading this week have been. But there is a guy in New York that I would say is a value, and that's Wan'Dale Robinson. If the reports about Toney are true, who else is going to be there to catch the ball, right? It's not going to. Wan'Dale Robinson, look at this, folks. I'll get this in here. 4,700. That's a value play. That's a punt play if you've seen one. But he'll open up plenty of salary for you. That's for sure. He'll open up the salary for you. All right, let's talk about stacks. Who's your favorite stack of the week? What team are you looking to stack up this week? Are you going the Chiefs because they got the highest team implied total? Are you going to try to get weird? Maybe you have a stance on a team this week that you think nobody else is thinking about. Are you going to go Lions thinking that the Eagles just pummel them, and so they're going to be playing catch up the whole time, and Jared Goff's going to be in there? Who do you have here? Okay, yeah, Chris said I meant Robinson. Chris, have another one here, man. Get yourself a beverage. You're writing out the wrong names already here. Who's your favorite stacking option of this week? Give me a team name. Give me what quarterback are you looking to stack? Are you double stacking them? Let me know in the comments. Who are you stacking this week? For me, my first favorite stack is definitely the Chiefs. I talked about Mahomes being my favorite quarterback when we don't consider price. And I want to stack him up with Travis Kelce and then probably MVS. You can go anywhere with Mahomes. Double stacks are great, especially in single entry. I like to try to condense my rosters around 1, 2, or 3 games. Really just try to go heavy and overload a game here and there. And this is one of those games that to get different, because everybody's going to be on the game. So go overboard, right? Maybe you go Mahomes, Kelce, MVS. You bring back Hollywood and AJ Green, something like that, to really get weird. Because, hey, look, Mahomes and Kelce, that's going to be everybody's going to play that. So how do you get different from there, but also stay there? You just add to the stack. The pass catchers for Mahomes this week are super cheap. Are super cheap. Outside of Travis Kelce, obviously. We can pull this up here. Look at these pass catchers. Oh, I'm on search. Juju, only 6,400. MVS, 5,500. Mecole Hardman, 5,400. He's not dead yet, right? He's still there. I would not go down here to Justin Watson, but I would think about throwing a dart at Sky Moore. He was involved in the preseason. I mean, Watson was too, but Sky Moore's the guy that they want to take Mecole Hardman's place. I would take a shot on him here or there. That's a way to get different, right? And look at the salary savings you're going to have there. Super cheap wide receivers here for the Chiefs. I don't think we're ever going to see him this cheap after this week, because I think that the Chiefs are going to go put up some points tomorrow, and everybody's going to be wishing they had Patrick Mahomes double stacks. And so I want a couple of those right off the bat. Oh, I like this. I got a Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and bring it back with Darren Waller. That's a very good timing here, because my number 2 is Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, or Mike Williams. Take your pick. I'll take either one of them. And I'm also going to tack on Gerald Everett to this stack. Earlier, I mentioned something about when I'm punting at tight end, I want to have the quarterback. This is my favorite punt tight end with a quarterback this week. Gerald Everett, he's athletic. He's never really had an opportunity like he's going to have in LA. And maybe he comes out and puts up a goose egg for us week 1. But this is a guy that I think that Herbert's really going to rely on, especially in the red zone. Look for him to have a couple targets down there inside the 20. Maybe one of them falls into the end zone. He catches one of Justin Herbert's 3 touchdowns, and the stack works, and you should be winning a little bit of money. I would not be playing ever any other time unless Herbert was in my lineup. This game's the second highest total on the slate, and it's only a point lower than the Chiefs and Cardinals. So it's being overlooked a little bit if you look at the roster percentages between what the Chiefs and Cardinals are bringing in. Everybody is wanting to get Murray. Everybody's wanting to get on Hollywood Brown and all of the Chiefs for good reason. But it kind of feels like this Raiders-Chargers game is being forgotten. And it's the second highest game on the slate. It happens at the same time as the Chiefs-Cardinals do, so that definitely has something to play in there. But I think this is a stack and a game that you'll find me going to more often than not this weekend. This is a great leverage. If my Mahomes stack didn't work out early, or my players in that stack didn't work out early, I can pivot off Mahomes, go to Herbert, run a double stack with Herbert, and have way less rostership percentage. I'm going to like that a lot. My last stacking option here, I mean, there's plenty of options, but my last favorite one is Joe Burrow. Somebody we haven't talked about quite yet, Cincinnati game. Stack him up with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Let's just do it. Last season, the Bengals walloped the Steelers. Just destroyed them, put up like 42 points. And a lot of it was on the ground with Joe Mixon. And so if people are looking at box scores, they're going to start looking at Joe Mixon and maybe play him. So let's get some leverage on Joe Mixon. Let's play Joe Burrow with a double stack and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I love this one. It's definitely not going to be a very popular one. I think Higgins on his own will be popular. Chase on his own will be popular. I don't foresee the 3 of them all played together too often. All right. Let's use a couple of these stacks. Let's build a couple teams here. I'll start the first one, but then if you guys have a stack that you'd like to see or a player you'd like to see me incorporate, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments who you want to see in here. I'm going to start one here. I'm going to run that Chiefs double stack that we talked about already. We're going to go Mahomes, and I told you I wanted Kelsey, and I also wanted MVS. So it's not even an expensive stack. We've still got 6,300. We've got plenty of salary left here. Yes, Chris. I did need to take one sip of water, but that's all right. We're here. Cheers to everybody watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already, since we're going to take a quick cheers break here. You got to have some water, man. I'm talking for an hour straight, more than an hour straight, probably. You got to have a little water. Come on now. All right, back to this lineup build. Patrick Mahomes, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Travis Kelce. When I'm going to build this one, I want to bring it back with Hollywood. He's going to be the popular one. But if this stack's going to work, the Cardinals are going to have to do something. And I just don't think A.J. Green is going to be that guy. Zach Ertz is injured. I could go Trey McBride. It just feels thin to me. Not really into that. So I'm going to go here with Marquise Brown. And now my salary is kind of getting pretty low pretty quick because that's, another 6,900 right there. In this situation, what I like to do is try to get my defense in here so I can really see what I'm doing. And so one area I'm kind of liking this week, especially if I'm trying to save a little salary on defense. I don't like these guys down here. I don't like the Raiders, Lions, Vikings. These Washington Commanders, Seattle's got the big 32 and it's green. Everybody's going to be clicking on the Washington Commanders. That's like the favorite team right now for defense. And so a easy leverage is right here with the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Washington Commanders. Carson Wentz is a terrible quarterback, y'all. And he has been terrible for a while. So I'll go ahead and just take Jaguars. I got some leverage on everybody who's playing Washington. And they've got a running back that I would love to have a little mini stack correlation here, and Travis Etienne. This is an opportunity for me to just get ahead of the game. We can sit and wait, but we're playing a tournament here. We're trying to get to the top of the tournament. The $50 tournament's got $1,000 up top. I want that. I don't want a min cash of $55. I want to get to the top. And I think a guy like Travis Etienne, he is projecting well, and he's got really low rostership. Etienne, let me see what he's got here. Yeah, less than 10% there on establish a run. So I like that a lot because, again, my afternoon one is going to be so highly owned that I want to try to get a little bit weird in the morning. Now we're sitting at 7,300. We go here. Let's take a look. Where are we at? What's another game we've talked about? I already got the afternoon games kind of set. We've talked a lot about this. Where are they at? Minnesota, Green Bay. Oh, it's an afternoon game as well. Well, hell, we'll go with it anyways. We talked a lot about this game. I like this game a lot. Aaron Jones here at 7,400 to me is a fun play. I think AJ Dillon's a good play too. A little bit more thin than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has to be the guy involved most of the time for Green Bay. He's their best talent they've got. And if I go Justin Jefferson, it leaves me 5,600 in the flex, which isn't bad. It's really not bad. I'm going to end up playing one person that's not correlated at all. Everybody else here is correlated, right? We've got the Chiefs double stack with the Arizona bring back. We've got a Jacksonville running back defensive secondary stack. I really like stacking up my running back and defenses together. It's not always happening that way, but I do like to do that quite a bit. And then I've got an Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson mini stack with $5,600 left. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'll bring Justin Jefferson here to my flex. And I want a little bit more information in 1 p.m. You don't have to do it this way, but I would like a little bit more information here in a 1 p.m. game. So let's go look at our values. 5,600. Who do we like? How can we get weird? We could throw. I saw a guy I like, and that's Brandon Ayuk. So maybe I throw him in there. 1 o'clock game. I told you I don't like that game a whole lot, but I don't want zero of it. And it's a relatively correlated lineup. Right now, I can't tell you whether this lineup smashes or not, right? Because we are embracing the wild this week. However, I've tried to correlate it. To me, it all makes sense. Everything works together, and there's a reason you have every player. Sometimes when you're building daily fantasy lineups, your correlation, the lineup build, means more than the players themselves. You got to have some information on the players. You have players you like, you want to play, but you really need the lineup itself to make sense together. And that's what I try to do here in this lineup. All right, let's clear this. Trent here says he wants to see a Mixon and Bengals defense stack. Again, a nice little secondary stack. I talked earlier about trying to use the Burrow double stack just to kind of get off of Mixon a little bit. Mixon coming in here about 17% rostered. That's not terrible. It's definitely not the highest running back. Let's see where it compares to other running backs. Oh, yeah. So he's sitting down about DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, all kind of in that same 15 to 17% range, around 5 to 9. Damn, Damian Pierce is way too high. Golly, that's ridiculous. Let's get back to the lineup build. So we'll throw Mixon in there. Mixon is going to be highly rostered. So we got to get different, right? How are we going to get different here? I do like that it's a Bengals defense here. A little bit more expensive on the defense. It's always a way to get different, is paying up for defense. That's a really good way to get different. What other game do you guys want to see a stack from? Kind of think through this. Where do we want to go here? You know what? Let's try to include it in with this one, this Herbert stack. So we'll go Herbert. We'll go Mike Williams. We'll just do a little skinny stack here with Herbert, not a double stack this time around, since we're going to throw Waller in there. My tight end stud of the week. And we're at $6,300. So we're going to have to find some value somewhere. A running back we talked about earlier is Kenneth Gainwell. He's got pretty good value. The guy I like a lot this week. Just kind of fits the narrative of embracing. And I'm going to bring Amon-Ra St. Brown back in this game. Have a little stack here with Gainwell and St. Brown. We've got our afternoon stack with Herbert, Mike Williams, Darren Waller. I've got 6,700 to play with. We've got 4 guys in the morning: Joe Mixon, Gainwell, St. Brown, and the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense is going to be low rostered. Kenneth Gainwell is going to be low rostered. So we're going to have plenty of information early in the game, early in the day. So I can go ahead and get weird if needed. But right now, I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and run with let's go Chiefs. Let's go back to this one. This is going to be the easy click. This is what everybody wants to do this week, right? I built 2 lineups and I've gone right back to that game both times. So it's just going to be that easy click. I can throw Hollywood and Juju in there. I've got a nice little stack with them, and I've got money to spare. If Joe Mixon comes out and busts, if Kenneth Gainwell busts, I can get completely off these 2 games. Maybe go to a Giants, right? Not that I would like to do that, but let's walk through that real fast, right? Joe Mixon, Kenneth Gainwell, they don't do very well, and we have a pretty popular stack here. This Giants game is going to be the least popular game to be played. Nobody's going to play this game outside of Derrick Henry. So our 1 p.m. guys are staying. They didn't do very well, so we need to blow this thing up. So we're going to play Henry. We're going to bring in Daniel Jones. And we're going to throw in Robinson that we talked about earlier. And I don't really want to double stack him, honestly. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. So now we've gotten weird there. Maybe we go back to this Green Bay game. We can go back to Jefferson. We go Jefferson and Tanyan. We talked about Tanyan earlier today. Again, I'd rather play him with Aaron Rodgers. But in a situation like this, all we're doing is late swapping. This isn't a team that we're going to build. Heck no, this team looks like trash. But if Joe Mixon, Kenneth Gainwell, those guys early don't do anything, we can't play chalk players in the afternoon. We're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to win any money. We're dead. Our lineup is dead. So we got to get there. We got to figure out a weird way to get there. And that's how this is one way. Pivot to this Giants-Titans game. Derrick Henry could easily put up 150 yards rushing. Nobody's playing Derrick Henry this week. And then Daniel Jones is chasing, using his legs, and he hits Wandale for a long one. Now we're right back in it. Even if that means we're just getting back up to min cash, at least we did something at that point. We go into the week trying to go to the top. But if we're dead in the water after the 12 o'clock games, how do we at least get back to min cash? If we're min cashing at the 12 o'clock games, how do we get to the top? That's what we always got to be thinking of. Is there a way, is there a pivot we can get to the top here in the afternoon? All right, let's do one more. I want to do a cheap quarterback and kind of show you how it opens so much up, and that's going to be, I mentioned it earlier, Jameis Winston is my favorite cheap quarterback. So with Jameis, we can go. I mentioned I really like just Jonathan Taylor. Let's just jam him in there. We'll just fix it later, right? And then we're going to go Chris Olave. Really cheap. Got to love that. And then let's just bring Pitts back. We know Pitts is going to be the popular one, but let's bring him back because this in whole is not going to be popular. We know Kyle Pitts is going to be popular, but Kyle Pitts with Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, that's not going to be popular. So all of those are 1 o'clock games. And so one other way we can really get some leverage on the field is everybody's playing the Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs defense. Everybody else is going to play them to that game to shoot out. So let's play that game to not shoot out. We play the Chiefs defense, and we could probably even put Clyde in the flex here. That leaves us with 7,000. Now we've got room to get back to this LA game, and we could play a maybe not Devontae. He might be a little too expensive. We could play Mike Williams or Keenan Allen even with the Hunter Renfrow. You could play Devontae and a Josh Palmer. Like that a lot, actually. Josh Palmer, if you didn't know, he's gotten quite a bit of steam here as the number 3 there in LA. And he's really separated himself from guys like Jalen Guyton. Who else is over there? DeAndre Carter. I don't think he ever had a place on that team, but either way, Josh Palmer has really stepped up to that number 3 spot. So this is a nice little skinny stack here. Good correlation. Devontae Adams, Josh Palmer, and you've got plenty of space. So really paying down for quarterback opens up. I'm playing Jonathan Taylor and Alvin Kamara in this game. There's plenty of salary out there. You really can play whoever you want this week. And you don't have to play, a Dameon Pierce. You don't have to play a Dameon Pierce who, if this was week 4, everybody would be smashing Dameon Pierce. Say, I don't know who was there, Marlon Mack. Well, if Marlon Mack started the year as the running back, gets hurt, Dameon Pierce comes in week 4, he's going to be the chalk everyone's going to play him. But you don't have to do that this week. There's so much salary out there. It's week 1, and that's why. Honestly, they set these salaries way too early, and we get a feast on it, but also it really kind of throws you off because there's so many options. And that's what I want to just reiterate. Get back to building a lineup that makes sense. Build a lineup that correlates. Build a lineup that mixes together very well as building a lineup that leaves you flexibility for the afternoon. Do late swap. Even if you're playing cash games, and you're out of the cash line, does it really matter if you play Patrick Mahomes? Does it really matter if you're playing Kyler Murray? When everybody else is playing those guys, you're not going to move anywhere. Okay? There are going to be times that you late swap and it's going to bite you in the backside. I've done that. I remember doing it last year, and it hurt so much because the 4 guys that I came off of, because they were supposed to be popular, ended up not being that popular and ended up smashing. It is what it is. But if you late swap, it allows you that opportunity to get to a lower rostered player, which if he goes off, now you're moving up because nobody else is playing him. Just use that. Make sure you're late swapping. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Like to go about an hour. Don't like Renfrow this week. I am on board with that, which is why I would rather go in this situation. Who would you rather have, Devontae Adams and Josh Palmer, or Keenan? Take your pick, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Hunter Renfrow, because they both fit and they both make sense. The lineup construction makes sense, but I'm going to have a player take, and I'm going to say LA has 3 wide receivers plus a tight end that has plenty of opportunity. Where the Raiders and Derek Carr, he doesn't spread out as much. He is usually on 1 or 2 guys. So I'll take Devontae Adams and Josh Palmer. I think it gives me a little bit more ceiling there, and I like the upside. Last thing here as we wrap this up, I am playing in this $50 single entry. There's about 22 spots left here. It's $50. It's the only big one I play. Everything else I play is $5. I try to get one big one in a week. First place takes home $1,000. So that's what we're aiming for, right? I'm trying to beat 111 other lineups to win $1,000. $1,000 pays for my daily fantasy for the year. That would pay it for the year. So I just got to hit this one time this season. I'll be playing in this every week. So if you want to play, jump on in there with us. I think my boy Matt's already in here with me. He likes to play. I see some really good players in here. Big Papa Gates is always at the top of the list. A.E. Jones is as well. There he is. Mr. West there. Let's go. So we'll be playing in that this week. If you want to jump in here, play against me, that'll be fun. Otherwise, find your own niche, find where you like to be, find something that works well. If you want to go MME and just play a bunch, that's fine. But that's not for me. Every week I'll be here. Friday nights, 8:15 Central. Again, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Before you leave, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be reminded every Friday night when I go live. Follow me on Twitter at TrevorS_FF. We're going to go win some money tomorrow. Good luck to you. I hope this helped you. Leave a comment on the YouTube channel if you had good feedback, or if you liked it or want to see something different. Please leave a comment. Hit the like button. We're out. Good luck.